You know, it was one of those nights where the rain just wouldn't quit, pounding down on Interstate 5 like it had a grudge against the world, headlights slicing through the sheets of water, cars zipping by without a second glance at anything but their own dashboards. I remember it clear as day, even though it's been years now. I was Emily Thompson back then, just a worn-out nurse at Mercy General in Seattle, dragging myself home after a double shift that left my bones aching and my scrubs soaked in sweat before the storm even hit. And there, twisted on the shoulder like some forgotten wreck, was this guy pinned under his massive chopper, a big, black beast of a bike, chrome all mangled, wheels spinning lazy in the downpour and blood pooling out around him, mixing with the runoff like the road itself was bleeding too. Folks were swerving past, honking, muttering from their cozy cars about bikers and trouble. You know how it goes, nobody wants to get involved with that crowd, especially not on a night like that. But me? I couldn't just drive by. I'd lost my dad to a heart attack years earlier, screaming for help that never came fast enough, and that helplessness, it sticks with you, turns into this fire that says, not on my watch. So I slammed on the brakes, hazards flashing, ditched my bag in the mud, and knelt right there in the torrent, hands pressing into his chest, weak pulse, ribs cracked, blood everywhere, whispering through the roar of the storm. Hey, buddy, stay with me. Come on, breathe, I've got you. His name was Jake Harlan, though I didn't know it then. He was just a stranger gasping, eyelids fluttering like he was fighting some invisible demon. And for those endless 20 minutes, it was me against the Reaper, ignoring the gawkers yelling from their windows. Leave him. He's one of those gang types. Yeah, right. Like a patch on his jacket made him less human. I held on, squeezing his hand when it twitched, thinking about how fragile we all are under the tough exteriors we put up, me arms burning from the pressure, rain freezing my fingers. But I wasn't letting go, not after what happened with Dad. Sirens finally cut through, paramedics rushing in, one of them clapping my shoulder with this look of awe. You gave him a shot, lady, good work. They loaded him up, lights flashing into the night, and I stood there shivering, soaked to the bone, wondering if he'd make it. Or if I'd just delayed the inevitable. Weeks turned into months, life grinding on, shifts at the hospital blurring together, patients' faces fading like ghosts, my mom's health slipping with her COPD flaring up, bills stacking higher than I could climb in. That night, it lingered like a half-remembered dream, a scar I carried quietly, questioning if one act of kindness really changes anything in this messed-up world. Fast forward 6 years, I'm 34 now, still at Mercy, still giving everything to strangers while my own life feels like it's unraveling thread by thread. Mom's oxygen tanks costing a fortune, rent notices glaring from the counter, and that bone-deep loneliness that hits when you realize nobody's got your back the way you have theirs. One evening after another brutal shift, I'm cutting through this dingy alley behind the old warehouses downtown, shortcut I'd taken 100 times, nothing fancy, just quicker to my beat-up apartment. But that night, the shadows move. 3 guys step out, reeking of cheap beer and bad intentions, circling me like sharks, grinning, one grabbing at my arm with this slimy leer. Look what we got here, a little nurse all alone. Brave or dumb, sweetheart? My heart's pounding, knees weak, I freeze, mind racing through every self-defense tip I'd ignored, thinking, this is it, Emily, you're on your own. Their laughter echoing off the bricks, another shoving me back. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? We're just gonna have some fun. Panic surges. I'm not a fighter, never have been. I'm the one who patches up the broken, not the breaker. And just as one lunges closer, breath hot and foul, engines roar like thunder rolling in from nowhere, shaking the ground, headlights flooding the alley in harsh white. 6 massive bikes screech to a halt, riders dismounting in unison, leather cuts gleaming under the streetlights, and leading them, this scarred giant of a man, boots hitting pavement with purpose, eyes locking on mine like he knows me from another life. The thugs falter, smirks dying fast. One stammers, hey, man, we didn't know she was yours. But he steps forward, voice gravelly and calm, almost amused. She ain't yours to touch, walk away, or we make you crawl. They scatter like roaches, cursing under their breath, vanishing into the night, and there I am, trembling, bag clutched tight, staring at this guy whose face. Wait, those eyes, through the rain and blood, all those years ago. Emily, he says softly, like testing the name. You saved my ass that night on the interstate. Everyone else kept driving, but you stayed. It hits me like a freight train. Jake Harlan, the biker I'd pulled from death's door, now head of the Thunderwolves, this notorious crew that's part legend, part nightmare, in Seattle's underbelly, scar running down his cheek, tattoos peeking from his sleeves. But those eyes? Grateful, fierce. I owe you my life, he adds, stepping closer. And from here on, no one's laying a finger on you. Consider it paid forward. I shake my head, words tumbling out. You don't have toy, was just doing what anyone should. But he cuts in with this wry smile. Anyone? Nah, just you in debts like that? They don't get squared with a thank you card. His crew nods silently behind him, engines idling like a promise. And for the first time in forever, that loneliness cracks a little, though deep down, I wonder what price comes with a shield like this. At first, it's subtle. Jake's not in my face, but he's there, a silhouette across the street when I grab meds for Mom at the pharmacy. His bike parked discreetly near my building as I fumble keys in the dark. Even a glimpse of him at the hospital's edge after shifts, helmet in hand, scanning for trouble before vanishing. It should have creeped me out, right? But after years of carrying everyone else's weight alone, feeling watched over, it's this quiet comfort, like finally exhaling. Mom notices too. Margaret, frail as a bird now, oxygen humming in her living room, smiles weakly one day. That scarred fella outside? He's got your back. Honey reminds me of your dad. The way he lingers. I blush, muttering, he's not mine, Mom. But she just chuckles softly. Maybe not yet, but life's got a funny way of tying knots. Trouble brews. The whispers at work. Nurses side-eyeing me in the break room. One hissing under her breath. Hanging with those wolves? Careful. Empathy brings storms. Neighbors cross the street faster. Doors clicking shut a bit quicker. Judgment's a sneaky poison, fueled by fear of the unknown. In Jake's world, it's not all chrome and brotherhood. Turns out, his rise to lead the Thunderwolves pissed off a rival crew, the Iron Vipers, led by this sleaze named Rico, who'd lost turf and pride when Jake took over, nursing a grudge that turned personal, seeing me as the weak link to break him. First sign, my apartment door ajar one night. Nothing stolen, but everything rifled, drawers yanked, photos shifted, a chill running down my spine. Police shrug it off. Kids pranking, mime call if it escalates. But as I shake on the couch, engines growl outside. Jake appears at my door, jaw tight. This ain't random. Rico's testing waters, but he won't get close again. He amps up the watch. 2 bikes trailing my walks. Riders lingering at corners like casual smokes. Even helping Mom with groceries up her stairs, nodding respectfully before melting away. I protest once, voice cracking. Jake, this is too much. People think I'm trouble now because of you. He meets my eyes, scar twitching. Better trouble than a target, and after what you did for me, I'd burn it all before letting them touch you. Tension simmers in his crew. Twosome wolves grumble in their clubhouse haze. She's an outsider. Jake, why bleed for her when Rico's gunning for our spots? But he stands firm, voice booming. Because she gave me breath when I was dona. Loyalty's not just patches, it's who we stand for. They fall in line, reluctant at first, but his conviction wins out. Though Rico pushes harder, a black SUV nearly clipping me one night, windows rolling down with sneers. Stay clear of him. Nurse her next time. We don't miss. Fear claws deep. Now I am not just alone anymore. I'm a pawn in their turf war, born from Rico's jealousy over lost deals and old betrayals. And as threats mount, a knife jammed in my door with a note, back off or burn. Jake's fury ignites, crumpling it in his fist. They're right, you could break me, which is why I'll end this. He rallies the wolves, bikes thundering through the night. A council under glaring lights where he lays it out. This ain't business. It's them thinking they can use her to gut us. Protect her, and we protect what matters. Nods ripple, engines revving in solidarity as shield tightens. Riders at Mom's, at the hospital, a network of thunder keeping shadows at bay. But protection's got teeth, and one night it bites hard. Smoke seeping under my door, acrid and vicious. Rico's payback, torching the place to smoke us out. Me and Mom trapped in the blaze. Flames roar up the hall, heat slamming like a wall. Mom coughing weakly as I drag her from bed, lungs burning, vision blurring. Hold on, Mom. Stay with me. Echoing my words from that rainy night, knees buckling under the weight. thinking, this is how it ends. Then boom, the door shatters. Jake storming through smoke like a demon unchained. Wolves behind him, bandanas up, eyes wild. Not on my watch, he bellows, scooping Mom effortless. Another hauling me up, we charge out. Flames nipping heels, bursting into the street as sirens wail. Neighbors gaping at these outlaws, carrying an old lady to safety. Mom's okay, wheezing but alive in the ER, me soot-streaked beside her, turning to Jake in the doorway, voice raw. How? He shrugs, eyes softening. We watch. Rico wanted you broken, but you don't break while I breathe. Gratitude floods me, mixed with the cost, whispers amplifying. Those bikers saved her? Must be dirty, but in that moment, judgment feels small next to this loyalty, forged in fire. Rico doesn't quit, ambushes me outside the hospital one exhausted night. SUV screeching up, goons spilling out with bats and chains, snarling. Time to pay, sweetheart. Jake's soft spot ends tonight. I back against the wall, heart hammering. No escape, then thunder erupts. Wolves swarming in, Jake leading the charge. You touch her, you'll bleed for dreaming it. Chaos explodes, fists cracking bone, bats clashing steel, one viper lunging with a knife, Jake twisting it away with a growl. Wrong move, Rico's lapdog, another intercepted mid-swing, slammed against the hood. They break, scrambling off defeated, tires squealing. Shame in. Jake turns, knuckles bloody, lifting my hand gently. They won't stop? Neither do I. Healing creeps in after threats fade as Jake's crew pushes Rico back, reclaiming turf with calculated moves, no loose ends. We share quiet times. Him fixing my new place's lock, awkward with tools but determined, me bandaging his cuts after scraps, our fingers lingering. Sitting on the stoop with burnt coffee, laughing at nothing, silence easy. One tearful night. I crack, sobbing the weight of it all, just holds my hand. No fixes, just presence. Why me? I ask finally, autumn leaves swirling. He pauses, scar catching sunset. You stayed when the world drove by some debts? You live em, not pay em. We emerged changed, no longer empty, finding strength in his quiet guard. Him, redeemed beyond the road, in choosing me. But here's the thing that sticks, makes you wonder, was tying my life to his world right? The wolves aren't Saint Sturf wars, rough edges, and yeah, they saved us. But at what cost to the community? The fear they stir? Justice? It's messy. Rico got what he deserved, but vigilante style leaves questions. Did we bend too far? Or was it the only way? What do you think? Drop a comment. Was Jake's loyalty heroic, or does it blur lines we shouldn't cross? Share if kindness ever boomeranged back to you in a wild way, or if community clashes like this hit home. Hit subscribe, bell on, and let's talk real, because stories like this, they remind us life's about who you stay for.